Yeah, man.
The host that never stops blowing the most. You got it.
All right, yeah, we made it, man.
Woo, long break, man. Damn.
Sunday. Well, good thing nothing happened. All right, there was nothing going on in the world today. You know, we live in simple times. It's nice. It's good for podcasting, right?
Oh, yeah. It's really easy. You just kind of live your life, check in for about 15 minutes, and you got an hour's worth of shit to talk about.
Oh, man, long gone are the days where you just get that newspaper on your stoop there, and you read it in the morning, and that's the news. You don't really need to be up to date on anything, man. Remember those days?
Yeah, dude. Some people, man, all you needed was the Sunday paper. Nothing really happened Sunday to Sunday.
That's right, dude.
You
Or
know,
nothing
the
worth
craziest
knowing.
thing that happened between two Sundays was Bill Clinton got a blowjob. You know what I'm saying?
Some of the folks I follow there on the interwebs, they're kind of the more extreme conspiracy nut jobs, and they're always tossing out random dates and time frames and have ticking clocks and all sorts of things for Q announced D-days and moments where the power's going to get cut or, you know, whatever. There's all sorts of scenarios that are allegedly about to unfold. The date happens, the time passes, and we move to the next outrageous fear-mongering
Of course.
for the next date.
Frank, I mean, Trump said he was going to be a dictator from day one.
Some of these are nuts, man. They're like, on this date in 2017, Q tweeted this, and then Trump said this in a statement last week in North Carolina, and now, do you connect the dots? It's all gonna end. They were kind of posting all this stuff about the cryptic nature of the Q and the Trump. You know, I don't. Do you get the Q stuff? Are you on board with this? Are you know?
No.
Are you? Okay.
Nah, I just don't care. I don't even want to waste my time with it.
Well, one of
Listen,
them.
if
one
you
of the
got something to
predictions.
fucking say it.
Okay, well,
Don't put out some fucking cryptic bullshit, and then I got into. It's the same reason I'm not going to the art museum every weekend. You know what I mean?
so
If you got
either
fucking
way,
something to say, tell me what it is. Don't fucking make me interpret some shit. You know?
one of the major predictions that keeps the date keeps coming and going is that it's gonna be lights out, man. No internet, no phones, right? It's all gonna go dark. And I was just thinking about it, you know, yesterday. Like, well, you know, I mean, it'd be so bad if we didn't have these fucking phones anymore. Like, maybe
The greatest thing that ever happened
maybe-
to us. You'd see, you wouldn't be able to see it because you'd have no internet to look it up, but the happiness scale would just skyrocket up.
You know what you would
you know?
see disappear? Anxiety. There'd be no more anxiety. The depression gone, right? I feel, you know, people would just start to go outside probably. Maybe we'd get back to reading the newspaper. And so, you know, it would take a little bit longer for all the fear porn to reach the folks down in the burbs and in the rural
Oh, speaking of that,
areas.
porn would be gone, relationships would automatically just heal themselves.
People would
People would start fucking each other again.
People would start having sex with each other, man. It would be crazy.
It'd be fucking great times. I'm actually all down for it.
We would...
Dude, actually, you know, that kind of brings me down to this crazy fucking thing I heard this week.
Oh, yeah.
This was unbelievable. It blew my mind. So, imagine, like, you know, every mother has a mother.
And every yeah, keep going. That's
Yeah. Stop right there.
All right, yeah.
So
thank
every
you. Brother from
so
another mother.
imagine just like throughout your bloodline, every mother had their daughter at average age of 20,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Not unrealistic. So if you did that math, that would mean every 100 years you have 5 mothers, right?
Sure. Yeah, man.
Because it takes 20 years. Every 20 years, a mother has another mother.
I am no math magician, so I will accept your terms here. Absolutely.
So if you do that, 5 mothers for every 100 years, that means 10,000 years is only 500 mothers. And when you think about that, they're trying to tell you that within 500 mothers, we started civilization, learned how to build pyramids, built the pyramids, forgot how to build the pyramids, and then went on to build skyscrapers in 500 mothers.
Wow. That's incredible.
If you think about it that way.
And
It's
skyscrapers.
very unrealistic, right?
Yes, and skyscrapers, no small feat, in my opinion. I think they're pretty impressive.
Well, I bet you the Egyptians had probably skyscrapers. Another crazy thing I heard is like if we were to die right now, in 10,000 years, the only thing that would be left is probably Mount Everest.
Really? Not even Mount Rushmore?
Oh, Mount Rushmore. That's what I meant.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Started drinking early on the Dude Man today.
Hey! That's how we do things on the Sundays. Sloppy Sundays, folks. Welcome.
I was reading an article about Everest earlier. Yeah, Mount Rushmore would be the only thing left of America.
Let me join you. So, I have to say that is the weirdest concept. If you think like 10,000 years from now, people are kind of exploring again. Maybe they've crossed the sea, right? Let's just assume life starts once again at the Fertile Crescent there, and virgins, right?
Asteroid hits, somewhere in Asia.
Right on.
So Americans all die. Everybody's dead in North America, but Mount Rushmore survives.
Get some survivors, and then long story short, another, whatever amount of 1,000 years later, you get these people exploring, and you just see all this overgrown brush covering the nostrils of George Washington.
You cut it away, and you find and what would you automatically assume? These must have been great kings.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty crazy to think about what people would assume or kind of believe when it comes to Mount Rushmore. There could be something hidden there.
But not only that, like, you got to really think about deep. Like, imagine not only do they find Mount Rushmore, right? So they're like, holy shit, that's kind of crazy. And then there's really no writing left. This is 10,000 years. There's no CD-ROMs, all the hard drives.
That's right, man.
Gone.
Yeah.
But maybe somebody inscribed, like, the teachings of Alex Jones. And so now all you have is the statue of four men and a few of the teachings of Alex Jones to translate all of our reading and writing, and you know what I mean?
I fear that all you'll find is like old graffiti, and it'll be like "butt fart was here," I
hope they find Wasp. That's the guy that's been in Chicago. I've been talking about him for about 2 years on the podcast. This kid has got some fucking talent, man. He is growing as an artist, I tell you.
It's gonna be something retarded that'll be painted over the face of Lincoln right before the demise of society fully happens, right?
We don't know what happened to the society, but Butthead was everywhere. Just Butthead was here written everywhere.
Oh yeah, man.
But I thought that was crazy. The 500 mother thing.
That is wild.
A mind-blowing time scale to really think about it, and it gives more, in my opinion, it just makes Graham Hancock and those guys more believable that you're talking about probably 100 to 200,000 year scale for the pyramids and everything.
And also you can literally see where all the mothering stops. It's the bearded mother. See what I'm saying?
2023 was
that was the end of mothering. 2023, you get the bearded mother. You could see the hieroglyphic, right? On the cave wall. You get all the different mothers through time, and then it's the bearded mother, and then no more mothers. Yeah, man. That's where we're headed.
The bearded mother with a penis in the drawing, and you're like, wait a minute.
It's tucking through the other side, right? Because it's a cave drawing, so you just see this little willy poking on the other end.
The mother tuckers, the end of society.
I gotta say, this reminds me of yesterday. We were kind of lounging. They were chemtrailing like crazy all month, but especially this week. We got a super snowstorm. It was beautiful. Forced us to stay inside and hang out. And take it easy, and Ace Ventura Pet Detective was on the TV. I had to stop and give it a gander. Man, what a trip down a wacky and wild road. There's so much to unpack on the original Ace Ventura, but I gotta say, what got me and Emma rolling was the conclusion of the film with the Finkel is Einhorn and the Einhorn is Finkel. And at the very end, when he's like trying to expose Einhorn as Finkel, and he's like ripping the clothes off, and then he's like, we discovered Captain Winky or whatever it is, Captain Willie. So fucking funny in the context of 2023, man. I couldn't even believe it was on TV. I can't believe they allowed it on TBS, man. They probably got sued for something here.
The best part is all the cops like spitting and like rubbing their tongues. And they're like, oh no, like they all made out with him.
And they're cruising so back afterward, and it's Dan Marino and Ace, and Dan Marino asks Ace Ventura if he has any more of that gum. And Ace is like, I don't think that's any of your damn business there, Dan.
What a great movie.
Fucking genius. But I was blown away at just, again, the content there. In 1993, or whenever this came out, it was absolutely hilarious and people loved it. 2023, wow, that would have created some major problems. I don't even know if they would have made that as the ending. It probably wouldn't have made it past the writer's room.
Every man spitting and putting gum in his mouth is a transphobe. What are you talking about? It's not even gay to make out with that woman with a penis.
But even the jokes that go on while he's stripping naked, and he talks about how, like, well, everybody, there's no way she could afford the surgery, and he rips away the skirt, you know, and you can't see anything because they're tucking, you know?
I love when he finds out because the hair of the dog on the picture.
It's absolutely hilarious,
and
man.
And then he's like in the shower and he's like got the plunger on the face. It's probably one of the funniest scenes in any movie. Jim Carrey, man, what happened?
I don't know, but we were just rolling with laughter on this one, man. It hit home. I don't know why. I haven't watched Ace Ventura in quite some time. And
dude, that is where the famous line... I can't believe that came out 30 years we've been saying, don't go in there. That he hits the pocket. So good.
There's so many outrageous scenes, like when he's trying to find who's missing the diamond on their ring, and there's one where he's like peering over the urinal to check out the dude, and the guy catches him. Oh, yeah. And then he starts to look at him, and it's kind of a gay joke. It's really funny, man.
He gives him the old tap of the foot, if you will.
It's the old Republican tap of the foot under the stall at the airport.
Oh, yeah. You know what we're talking about. Wow, great movie. Most watchable, for sure.
So you asked me, or you sent me a text about Shazam. We're hot on the Shazam topic, folks. I'm not letting go of the fact that this is some CERN-based, Mandela effect. They messed with our timeline. We're in some weird
apparently
new
he admitted it. That they were all trying to scrub it. He was trying to scrub it.
No way.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you. I didn't look it up, but apparently, now I really need to see this movie because there's apparently something that's insensitive in there. That there's a reason they're scrubbing it.
Yes! Yes!
Yeah.
Oh
he
my God!
Admitted it or something.
Oh my God!
He apologized. And the way he said it, he was like, I was in a really bad time of my life, and it was like, dude, I got to see this movie now.
Oh man, what it must be something with the BLT sandwich community and or retards. There's some, because back in the 90s, there was a lot of jokes about fat people and retards.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. I mean, you got a black genie. You think you guys would be all about it? When Will Smith does it, it's a miracle. But Sinbad, no?
Well, I think when the genie... Maybe they believed, hey, it's Sinbad. He's black. He's a genie. We can get away with whatever we want. Let's make fun of everybody here.
Maybe.
There could be some insensitive jokes towards Asian Americans, I could see, potentially. I'm just saying, in the 90s, if you go back and check out some of these comedies, man, we were ripping on everybody back in those days.
Yeah, dude, Bobby Lee talks about all the time how, like, in the 90s, he couldn't get a role unless it was him making fun of Chinese people. Like, the most racist way possible. You know what I mean? It was literally just people, like, writers writing jokes and skits about how, like, being racist towards Asians, and they needed an Asian to play it, you know?
Yes, dude. Oh, man, I love that. I mean, that's kind of shitty, but that's also funny. I mean, you know,
dude, I don't know. I watched Mario Brothers again the other day.
Oh, man, what a classic. A new age classic, man.
It was a great movie, but they do go a little extra heavy on the Italian racism, though. You know,
it's almost agree.
Like we're one of the last groups that'll just take it.
Well,
they go hard.
You know what? I love it. I will gladly, proudly be a part of the last group of people who can take a fucking joke, man.
Yeah, we'll take it.
At least we're being represented. Everywhere else, they've torn down statues because it's Christopher Columbus and he's a racist.
I know. He was Italian, though.
He was the only thing we had. Except for now, if you live in Philly. I don't know if you saw this over the past week, but Sly Stallone was in Philadelphia for a massive celebration and like commemoration of him. I believe they have now an official Rocky Day in Philadelphia.
Oh, God, what a dumb city.
No Benjamin Franklin Day? Right? Has anyone there read the autobiography of Benjamin Franklin? It's fantastic. Nothing?
Never gonna celebrate a guy that can barely read, but makes great movies.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do have a Ben Franklin Day. Don't they have a huge statue of the guy there?
Ben Franklin?
No, I'm talking about Rocky. See what I'm saying?
Rocky. Yeah, fuck Ben. I heard he was racist.
I love how they love Rocky more than Ben Franklin. Well, either way, Sly Stallone, Italian sort of, right? Yeah, fully, maybe? I gotta imagine, right? Stallone? There's no way he's not Italian.
Yeah, I don't know what he is, man. That's just
probably Sicilian.
I think when you don't have all your chromosomes, you're just,
Italian. Yeah.
You're not a nationality.
I think anything that borders the Neanderthal line, you're just automatically Southern Italian.
Yeah, I will take it.
And then if your arms are just coated in hair, you're Greek. See how that works? Yeah. Oh, Mike.
Both Neanderthals, but one's hairier than the other.
That's right. Well, so much was going on this week. We got to get to it. We burned a lot of time. One of the most important issues of the day, something that I immediately thought of you. There's no way we can't talk about it. It's all everyone's thinking about right now. Let's do it, folks.
Tonight, the hot new contender in America's coffee wars finally unveiled after a McFlurry of mystery. Complete with a supersized Rager in its parking lot.
We cut it off coming this way.
America's first ever CosMc is bringing suburban Chicago traffic to a standstill. Today's drive-through line stretching for more than a mile through this Bolingbrook shopping center. Wait times topping 4 hours.
4 hours, dude.
What is wrong with I did I not tell you we're a bunch of fat zombies here in Chicago?
What's going on there?
4 hours to go get a fucking McDonald's with a different wrapper.
They are not exaggerating. They're about to interview a fella in his car. This is the most Chicago thing ever.
I've been waiting in this line since 9:45 this morning, so it's about 1:17 right now.
I have my order on Post-its. I'm ready to go.
You got your order written out.
We wrote it at home.
Fresh off Friday's grand opening, CosMc is the, for now, drive-through only side venture of fast food giant McDonald's.
Hi-ho, Earth people. CosMc here. I popped in from outer space.
Though it's named for an 80s-era McDonald's character, CosMc may be a nod to the future.
This is McDonald's taking aim at Americans' love for customizable drinks, what the company's CEO called a $100 billion industry dominated by coffee icons like Starbucks and Dunkin'.
So McDonald's wants a piece of this business because it's very profitable. And it's profitable because customers will visit frequently during the course of the day. They will add flavors that will cost them a little bit extra. and they're often very loyal.
Can I get an island pick-me-up punch, please?
She's going through
On
the
our
drive-thru.
trip through the drive-thru,
Oh, yeah.
menu choices seemed endless. How insane has this been?
I don't have to see anybody or hear anybody or know anything. I hate every single one of you in that line. You are the fucking reason I can't get through Chicago in a decent clip.
I can't get over the fat dude in the car who got there at 9:15 and it's 1:45 and he's like, I'm still waiting for my Egg McMuffin, bro.
You should be waiting for your job. What is your job? What the fuck are you doing that you have 4.5 hours to kill?
On a Friday, man. This is the problem with America. Do you want to know why Bidenomics ain't working for nobody? It's because this dude and half of them, Chicago, apparently can wait in line for 4 hours for an Egg McMuffin.
And an overpriced drink. It's all about the drinks over there, apparently. Dude, this is insane. Like, we've gone so far. We are just the fattest, laziest fucking people in the world.
No,
My
man, this
God.
is idiocracy. At the same time when I saw this, right? By the way, this CosMc's all over every news station. They need to distract the shit out of us because Hunter Biden's getting indicted for everything, and his dad is in cahoots, which we'll get to. so like, hey, did you see this new McDonald's? Feed your face, fat ass. Come on.
Did you hear what that guy said? The people that are going to visit frequently during the day, if you visit this more than once a day, you're an ass. Like,
Oh my God.
we should just take you out of society. I'm sorry. There's no way you are a productive member of society if you're going to CosMc's multiple times a day.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Joe Biden gets his wish and we get the boots on the ground like he talked about over in Ukraine, let's start by rallying up these people waiting in line for 4 hours for their fucking McFlurries.
I hope those boots are extra wide. There's some fat fucking tree trunk leg having people, dude. This is crazy.
We're having recruitment problems. Let's start recruiting these assholes. You know what we should do?
You're right. The end of the drive-through, like you get your drink, you're enjoying that sugar high at the very end. It should just be a recruiter.
Yeah, he just signs you up right there. He's like, you clearly have no job. You're 25 years old. We're going to get you in shape and put you on the front line, son. Folks, we got the answer right here. The recruiters just line up at the fucking CosMc's from here on out because these dudes are coming through multiple times a day, apparently, willing to wait for 4 hours.
No, son, I'm sorry. This is your third time through this drive-through. I'm going to need you to sign this waiver. As soon as his fat ass is going to sign it because you're holding his drink hostage. You know?
Yeah, I like it. If you go through three strikes and you're out. If you go through for 3 times a day through the CosMc's, you're automatically recruited into the military.
Yeah, they don't even hand you a drink. They just hand you a uniform.
Yes.
you just start PT right now. Your fat ass needs to work. Dude, this is insane.
America,
oh, God.
we got problems here.
Oh, man. This is the sign of the end, man. This is one of the signs of the end.
Well, wait till...
This is like this is the product of COVID, dude. They used COVID to shut down all mom and pop shops, all family-owned restaurants and shit. And now we made room for McDonald's to have a spin-off.
Well, have you seen the menu items? I read through them. They offer like a boba tea with those boba balls that a lot of these local Asian mom-pop places offer up or are known for. They're totally siphoning into the spiked tea like movement thing where it's got like added caffeine and all this stuff. So you're going to be juiced up on sugar and caffeine. You could do booster shots like they do over at Jamba Juice. I mean, they're siphoning into the market. Like they said there, it's
That's great. You get to wait in line for 4 hours. Then you get your spiked, super caffeinated drinks. Now you have all the energy to wait in 4 hours at Popeyes for the new chicken sandwich.
I know.
It's fucking insane. Remember when that was the craze?
Well, now have you seen Burger King, Popeyes? I've seen all these commercials lately during the games where they're offering these new chicken wraps, but everyone seems to have the same wrap where they just stick 2 chicken like tenders around with some cheese and lettuce and like squirt some
Tons
ranch
of
on
ranch.
there. Yeah, mayo. There you go. Eat healthy. Pretty soon they're just going to spike these drinks with Wegovy, right? You get your,
Frank, you just stole Weight Watchers' new plan. Come on, man.
You get the caffeine boost with the weight loss Wegovy shot, and then it closes up your intestines, and you don't consume anything for 3 weeks. It's incredible.
This is so disgusting. This is fucking disgusting. 4.5 hours?
Oh, man, yeah.
No, you guys
This
need to
killed
join
me.
the army. I was just telling a young guy who's in college who was thinking about dropping out. Drop out, join the army. Listen,
Yeah,
I don't care
come
who
on.
you are. Who you are. Doesn't matter. What you're doing with your life, it doesn't matter. There's a better you inside of you.
Not only
And the
that,
army will get it out of you.
what you got to say is, hey, man, do you want to be all that you can be?
It's true. It is true. They will help you be all you can be. I'm a piece of shit now compared to what I was when I got out,
Yeah, but you, at this point, if you hadn't gone in, probably would have been a bigger piece of shit, most likely homeless and strung out
I'd be
on
in line at
drugs.
CosMc's right
Exactly. For 4 hours, man.
4 hours. And then that guy, while sipping his frappe, latte, pomegranate, whatever, is going to be sitting there like, you know what? It's really not fair with the government. It's just not easy to get ahead nowadays.
And then you got Biden out there forgiving his student loans, right? And so
Yeah.
he's going to vote blue no matter who.
Well, you gave me CosMc's, you forgave my student loans, but can you make the homes more affordable? It's hard. It's hard to afford a home when I'm spending 4.5 hours on a Friday in line at CosMc's.
Oh, well, move on down to Colorado, young chap, where Jared Polis loves to take from all the homeowners, see, and give to the assholes who don't pay nothing into the system. Colorado.
It's great.
So the reason why I believed this ridiculous story, that was a news story, by the way. I hope everyone enjoyed that. That was like NBC nightly news.
No.
Like,
Not a news story, Frank. That was the news
yes,
story.
it was all over.
I heard podcasters talking about it. Nobody even knew how to say Bolingbrook. I heard Bolingbrook. Like, dude, if you don't even know how to say the town, yeah, it's way out of your... You shouldn't even be talking about this.
It means that all of you got the memo to cram this shit in everyone's face so they don't pay attention to this.
New legal troubles tonight for Hunter Biden after the president's son was indicted on 9 tax charges.
This clip is 2 minutes long. I want to remind everyone, 2 minutes. The clip on McDonald's that we cut out of 2 minutes, 35 seconds. That's how much more important this McDonald's shit is.
Have you seen the menu, Frank?
Ryan Nobles now with that story.
Tonight, President Biden ignoring questions about the new
this
round of
story
legal-
doesn't even involve Trump or food.
know.
I mean,
There's no porn stars. Well, there's
2 minutes.
there's prostitutes.
All I need is 30 seconds. Listen, Hunter Biden did something Joe Biden said is not a crime. Move on.
You
What are we talking
guys,
about?
what I wanted to play the clip for is so we could remind everyone, Hunter Biden is just a lost, troubled kid, all right? This kid has been through some hard times, and he's lost, he's troubled, he's having a hard time. He's just a kid.
And I heard he never voted for Donald Trump, so what are we doing wasting all these resources?
Did you
Going
guys...
after him. We got Trump voters we need to lock into jail. I mean, come on.
And why spend time talking about Hunter Biden when... Did you see Don Jr. and that flannel he wore in the woods for that photo shoot 4 years ago? Unbelievable.
Hitler's son, if I've ever seen one.
So out of touch. All right. All right, here we go.
For his son. A 9-count federal indictment on tax charges from special counsel David Weiss. Hunter Biden facing the possibility of 17 years in prison. The 56-page indictment saying he failed
I got
to pay at least
$100
one-
says Trump does more time than Hunter.
Or at least gets more FaceTime on the news. Honestly, not a lot of Trump, I feel like. Or I may be at this weird point where I'm just instinctually blacking out any like little icon that has Trump's face on it. You know what I mean? I just scroll past it without even thinking now because he's just been so saturated through the system.
Yeah, I don't think you've been listening to the right podcast. I mean, Trump Safe Pod, that's all they talked about.
Well, that's why they call it Pod
They
Save
spent
Trump.
the whole hour on the debate, and all they kept referring to was the dark shadow looming over the debate.
No,
It
well,
was
I have
Donald Trump.
No, we have a lot of stuff, and we've covered it already, where the thing with Trump right now, they're really hammering it. And in fact, I have a Joy Reid clip where they just go full on Hitler. But I'm not kidding. They just go for it. They're in. MSNBC has gone full Hitler with Trump. They've teased it. They've done a lot of teasing, but they are now officially at full Hitler. We've done a lot of Morning Joe, which I love Morning Joe, because they have collectively completely lost their minds on that channel or on that program. Joy Reid, nobody's watching Joy Reid, so she has to reach for the stars and, just pull anything out of her ass there. So they're going full Hitler there. But first, this Hunter Biden story is one of my favorites because, if I'm not mistaken, I clipped it a little while ago. I can't totally remember, but I believe they say some interesting tidbits about what he's kind of in trouble for, and it's amazing. If this were the kid of a Republican, or if this were Don Jr., my God, we would never hear the end of this story. That's how fantastical it is.
No, dude, there would be 2 clocks ticking down on CNN at all time. One to Don Jr.'s trial,
yes,
and one to Trump's trial.
Oh, well, this is like treasonous, borderline, maybe even fully treasonous, what Hunter Biden and Joe were doing, and the brother, Jim Biden, who gets no press.
And I can't get this through enough people. And listen, maybe everything was fine because he took the money, whatever, from Ukraine, but then when you become president and we just start handing over hundreds of billions of dollars that we don't know where it's going, now you've crossed the line into this is just pure corruption.
Well, you're a little bit wrong. I mean, we have an idea of where some of it's going. They've caught quite a few oligarchs there over at the border in Poland with like suitcases of American cash.
And this whole thing in Gaza is totally killing the Ukraine narrative. Because, dude, I saw these pictures of Gaza, and it's like rubble.
Rubbleized! Yeah, dude, it's fucking wrecked, man. It's over.
Not only is it rubble, there's literally bodies in the streets.
They have, there's all over the AP news cycle, the babies that are just decomposing in the beds in the hospitals that were abandoned.
But then you're like, you see the next article is like, 150,000 Russians dead in Ukraine.
Yeah, right, dude.
75,000 Ukrainians dead.
Give me one drone image.
All along this strip of trenches that's World War I style warfare. And then they show you a picture, and it's 4 fat guys with bright bands around their arms posing for a camera. No bodies.
Yeah.
No bodies.
And I believe those bands are superimposed digitally to cover up the Nazi symbols they have wrapped around their sleeves. They've done. Honestly, I think the reason we don't see a lot of imagery out of Ukraine is because it's very hard for them to cover up all the Nazi symbols that they have adorning their tanks and on their flags. And I have had neighbors out here flying a Ukraine-specific flag that has one of those new age, modernized Nazi symbols that they're all about over there.
Frank, it's a freedom symbol. Freedom for the white man. The white non-Jew. I don't know what I heard. No, not a Nazi. I just don't like Jews and blacks. Is there anybody browner than me? What are you talking about?
Oh, man. I gotta tell you what, dude, if these neo-Nazis saw you or I on like a July afternoon, we would be done for. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah,
the way our skin danced. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
I don't know what you is, boy.
But we would be eliminated from the gene pool. There's no doubt about it, dude.
You say what you want. I see that tan line on your fingers. Get over here.
It got a little dicey there in Florida last spring. I got a little dark, folks. A little dark.
to let them see your feet.
A lot of my southern Italian started coming through there. It's rough. I spent 2 months in the north, Thank God for the chemtrails. My Polish started coming back out. Right?
Yeah, once you get to the colder weather.
That's right. All right. Hunter Biden. Just imagine, if you will, as they go down, what's going on with old Hunter here. Just imagine Don Jr. in place of this fella here.
$1.4 million in taxes from 2016 to 2019, spending millions of dollars on an extravagant lifestyle rather than paying his tax bills, including on drugs, escorts, and girlfriends, such as $683,000 on payments to various women, close to $400,000 on clothes, and $188,000 on adult entertainment. Hunter Biden said he was battling addiction.
He spent almost 200 G's on porn, this fucking lunatic.
That's crazy. I don't even know how you do that.
His attorney saying he paid back the taxes and the charges should not have been brought.
If his name wasn't Hunter Biden, this would not have happened.
Okay, here's the best part. No, stop right there. This is the part I can't get over, right? You guys are prosecuting Donald Trump for a loan that he paid back.
I know.
The person who gave him the loan made money on the loan. Right? Nobody got hurt, but you're prosecuting him because he lied on the forms. Right?
Absolutely.
So now this guy, he should be let off because he paid it back? I don't think so, man. You can't. I thought nobody was above the law. Isn't that what you guys have been preaching during the 91 felony charges against Trump?
I don't know if you caught this fella here that they're about to interview, but he leads off here with, if his name weren't Hunter Biden, this would be a non-case. Well, okay, let's just say if it was Don Jr., what would you people be talking about right now?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Did you just hear that list of shit this dude spent millions of dollars on? Like, we're talking prostitutes and porn and drugs. We have multiple laptops of video of him weighing out crack rocks, man, with a prostitute in the room who's most definitely underage.
And he was 40 years old at the time. He wasn't like a young kid addicted to drugs.
Mike, he was out of control. He was a kid living the fast life, man. He didn't know what was going on. He's just we've all been young, come on.
And then in the meantime, you have that real piece of shit, Don Jr., who spent his teen years as a drug addict, cleaned up in his 20s, and then been running a business.
It's simply unforgivable, that man, Don Jr., wearing that flannel with those boots in that photo shoot in the woods. Unforgivable.
What a piece of shit.
You know how...
I like this guy.
Don Jr., did you hear about this piece of trash? He divorced his wife and married another woman. Disgusting!
Was it his brother's widow?
No, he's a pervert!
What a piece of shit. You should always fuck your brother's widow, buddy. Kill your brother and then fuck his wife. Come on, be a real man. Be a Democrat. That's what they're talking about with these conservatives. Pussies. No balls.
No. Look at Don Jr. banging women his age. What a fucking loser.
Banging women your age and you cleaned up? What a pussy. What a quitter. You should rock those drug habits till the end. Keep stealing money from foreign countries. Come on.
The problem with Don Jr., no laptops with videos of him weighing out crack rocks. That's his problem.
Amateur.
All right, a little bit more on Hunter.
Paid back the taxes, and the charges should not have been brought.
So if his name wasn't Hunter Biden, this would not have happened.
It comes after Weiss's original plea deal for Hunter Biden, which would have allowed him to avoid prison time.
He is right about that. If his name was not Hunter Biden, he would have never had the money coming in to have to pay the taxes. So he was right about that.
If he wasn't Hunter Biden, there'd be no big guy.
Yeah.
See how that works? Big guy, 10%.
If you weren't Hunter Biden, you'd be a plumber in Chicago looking at those numbers like, God, if only I could have 10% of what he spent on hookers, I'd fucking put it down on a house.
Shit, if I had 10% of what this dude spent on porn, I'd be a happy man. Are you kidding me?
Please. I play the lotto every week just to get that. I mean, come on.
Give every American 10% of what Hunter spent on porn. You could buy our vote. No doubt about it.
You definitely pay back student loans.
Under a judge's scrutiny. The growing accusations against Hunter Biden come as the GOP is investigating the finances of the Biden family including the president, with more Republicans favoring the impeachment inquiry already underway.
I will support it when it comes to the floor, likely next week.
President Biden has repeatedly denied that he spoke to Hunter about his foreign business dealings.
I have never discussed with my son or my brother or anyone else.
There's a literal text exchange, I believe, where Hunter is in the room with Joe Biden threatening the other person on the other line and then saying, I'm literally in the room with my dad, the big guy.
That doesn't mean anything, Frank. How many times did you threaten foreign ambassadors with your dad's name while he was in the room, but you didn't tell dad about it? I did it all the time. Parties, you know.
I'm sitting in the room with him right now, but I'm not telling him that I'm texting you.
P.S. He doesn't know.
And threatening you with his power. Man, how stupid do they think we are?
No, don't you remember last Thanksgiving? I stepped away from the table to call the guy in China.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. You made that threatening phone call to the dude in China.
Yeah, the guy I'm blackmailing, you know.
Oh, man. Oh, honestly, again, I can't get over the fact that if this were the Republican side, man, the field day in the media, this is all we would see all day long. This is, you know what?
All we saw was Russia for 4 years, and that was fake.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They wish so badly this was Trump and his son.
Oh, for sure.
And
yeah,
if you really,
could you imagine?
If you think about it, what they kind of claimed Trump and the Trump family was doing with with Putin and company, that's actually quite literally what Biden and company have been doing with Ukraine. They just kind of changed the characters and the names of the country and sold it to the American public. They flipped the script. They gaslighted us, I guess, right? Isn't that kind of what it is? Or
yeah, I forgot who said it. I think it
projecting?
was Cousin Frank, and it was a Q thing. I do, and one of the things I do kind of believe is I do believe they impeached him twice just to kind of make it like impeachments are bullshit. You know what I mean? And I do think that's what they're doing is they're just coming out first with the story about him so that when you start to say it about Joe Biden, it's almost like, no, I'm not, you are.
I know you are. I mean? Oh, it's the Pee Wee Herman argument. Yeah, I know you are, but what am I?
And so you just seem childish when people are like, it happens to me in arguments all the time. People will say stuff about Trump, and I'm just like, what? But he's done nothing to prove that he's like that. I mean, look at what Joe Biden does, and they're just like, oh, okay, what are you, 5 years old?
Like,
you know, it's like, yeah, you do sound childish now. It's like, you know.
Well, at least Biden didn't tell everybody to drink bleach, all right?
Frank Trump said he was going to be a dictator on day one.
So did you see the insanity that has ensued from that? I even saw like NPR did like a serious take on like, let's dissect Trump claiming on day one he'll be a dictator. And like,
NPR, did you see Bill Maher?
Oh, I did watch. I didn't click.
His head almost exploded. Like, we gotta believe him. I've been saying it for years. This is exactly. He's telling you what he's gonna be. You need to believe a man when he tells you what he's going to be. He said he's gonna be a dictator on day one. And like nobody follows up his quote. His quote was, "I am gonna be a dictator only on day one.
Yes,
and only to shut down the border and drill for oil." That's a funny joke.
Well, not only that is nobody played the clip or listened to it, especially if you're on the left and you want to hear Bill Maher make fun of it and all the other Jimmys roll with it. And seriously, the news took it over the top, very verbatim in the weirdest way. What got me was the news now knows nobody's actually going to seek out the original clip of it, and they're just going to read the headline.
It's the inject bleach.
Yeah, exactly.
It's literally the inject bleach.
Exactly.
For those that don't know, I showed my dad the clip of Trump supposedly saying inject bleach. He chose to not trust his eyes and ears while watching the clip, and instead pulled up a transcript CNN wrote. with their commas and everything. And when you put commas and periods, you could change the meaning of a sentence, you know?
I also like the idea of hating Trump so much, you're walking around with a printed transcript of something the guy said.
Oh, he pulled it up on his phone.
I know, but, the image of a folded up, that's how much you hate Trump. You carry around a bunch of quotes of his so you could...
That is great.
So you can prove Trump
still
supporters
for somebody
wrong.
to be like, but for somebody to be like, no, here's the video of him saying it. And you're like, I don't believe that. This is what CNN wrote he said.
Dude, CNN, NPR, AP News, everybody went over the top with their analysis of this quote, and all you got to do is watch the clip. My favorite part about it is it's in front of a live audience, and they are laughing hysterically as he says it.
It's a joke.
It's a joke.
He literally he gets pushed like 4 times. Are you going to be a dictator? Because people like Bill Maher keep saying you are, and he's like, you know what? Yeah, I am for one day only. To close the border and drill. That's fucking funny. I don't care who you... I mean, have a sense of humor, people.
Yes, thank you, man. Thank you. That's all I could think about with that, and I was blown away with the seriousness across the board. They really...
I mean, are we supposed to take literally everything Joe Biden says? Because I don't think you want us to start doing that.
No.
Right? That guy makes a lot of gaffes.
We can also start taking seriously what his daughter has said, especially in her diary, about taking inappropriate showers with Daddy Joe. Let's not do that, right? Let's not take things very seriously. Exactly, right? We'll take jokes where jokes are late.
You know what I heard the other day was it was a TERF, trans-exclusionary radical feminist.
God bless you. I actually don't... Did you sneeze? Oh, no, I'm sorry. There you go.
She had a great point. She talked about how 2020 really did kind of end the Me Too movement. The election.
Interesting, and I'm curious as to why. Probably because Joe Biden is a bit of a Me Too fella.
That's what they said. They said it was Believe All Women, because the guys were bringing up, like, when did that did just kind of die, right?
That's right, man.
Women. That was like a huge thing during Trump.
Yeah. Well,
during
because
the Trump years, it was Believe All Women, right?
Especially if they claim you raped them, but they don't remember the day, the year, the place, the time,
the season.
They don't remember anything about it, but they can claim you did it and win millions.
But that guy who testified to Congress that he sucked off Obama. Crock of shit.
Oh, yeah, Larry Sinclair, under oath, claims that he smoked crack and gave a beach to old Barry Soetoro. Yeah, no, we're going to dismiss that.
Has the time, the day, the location, all matches up with where Obama and him both were.
Tinfoil hat nut jobbery.
No evidence. No evidence. Now back to that rape case. 12 people found him guilty, Frank. 12 of his peers. If by peer you mean Democratic voter in New York.
The same people are going to convict Daniel Penny to life in prison for killing that beloved Michael Jackson impersonator.
Fucking terrible.
Well, I got some stuff on Trump, and I think we got time. We could squeeze it into this episode, no doubt. Trump officially, he's gone through a lot of phases. They've been really teasing the Nazi kind of concepts. You know, we've already done the white supremacist thing. That was back in the good people on both sides, which they love to still bring up.
You can't do that now because he's winning black voters.
Yeah, he is fully embraced by black culture at this point in America, I think. You know what?
I
think the migrant situation, the sanctuary city, we're going to stop giving you guys benefits and give them to these migrants who are our future voting base now. Go enjoy Trump. Good luck.
That's what a lot of people in Chicago are pissed about. The black community, they're
it's universal,
outraged about the immigrants. But I got to tell you, that clip's been going around. I saw it twice now. It's a side to side. First, they played Trump, during the campaign, where he says he pretty much just tells the black people, you've been voting for them for decades, and they haven't done anything for you. Absolutely. What do you have to lose? And then it pauses, and then it goes right into Joe Biden with that greasy smile, just
used car salesman.
Or does he say, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black?
Yes.
It's so creepy. The side by side is like, man, that says it all. What do you have to lose? and you have to vote for me because you're black, right? You're part of that group.
I read a fascinating take about why the black community is embracing Trump and even the immigrant community. And when I say that, I mean people who legally immigrated here, let's say even a couple decades ago, people whom we worked with in landscaping and who I was alongside with in many kitchens over the last decade. These people have families now who have gone through college and who have kids themselves, people who are business owners in their own right. And they side with Trump over Biden simply because, Trump, it's no secret to anybody. Yeah, the guy got a good deal right at the beginning of his life. He was born into the right spot at the right time, and he was gifted that money. And what did he do with it? He became a real estate mogul and created jobs and was a businessman. And when you're a businessman, you are cultivating environments where other people are also making money and have, jobs for their livelihoods and can, provide for their families. And so other small business owners and business-minded people, even people who are in your beloved minority classes, they can really actually relate to a guy like Trump, a businessman, a job creator, versus a guy like Joe Biden, who is a lifetime bureaucrat. The man has spent 40 to 50 years as a dude in government. He has never worked a real job.
Just taking money from us, and from foreign governments. It's a crazy...
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, we don't need career politicians. He has never built anything.
No.
He's never created a single job.
Exactly.
He's never, you know what I mean?
No, Joe Biden has just siphoned from the system, and all he has done is became a millionaire by brokering inside deals and working the markets and being a sleazeball. That's what he looks like, a used car salesman, because Joe Biden is kind of a used fucking car salesman.
Oh, yeah, for sure that's all he is. For sure that's all he is.
They really tried to paint Trump that way, and it just doesn't sell. The image isn't correct. It doesn't feel right. Sure, absolutely, Trump literally shits on a golden throne. We know that as the populace. His whole show that made him super popular with the general public was The Apprentice. The opening was him dancing to the song Money, and he threw money at the screen and had women dancing around him, and everything was gold plated. We know who Trump is, dude. It's no fucking secret.
You're right, dude. I just watched this morning when we were eating breakfast. Adam Kinzinger was on.
Oh, yeah, that pipsqueak. He is just the grossest little mole.
And he was talking for 10 minutes about how, I don't even know what he was. He was like, there's 30% of the Republican Party. Their brain has just been taken over. They're zombies. We call them the MAGA zombies. There's nothing you could ever do to change them or wake them up. They're dead. They're zombies. But then there's another 20% where they're actually rational people, and I think we could get through to them. I think it is dude, the way he was talking about it, you people have no idea why people voted for Trump.
Yes. And
no idea.
Biden is polling horribly, and we both don't really pay much mind to polls because usually the Democrats control the polling and sway it in their favor. If they're swaying and controlling these polls, it's really bad for Biden. And it's probably why they want to get rid of him and bring in Gavin Newsom and all these other jabronis. But, Biden doesn't connect to the average dude.
No, he doesn't know how.
And he doesn't...
He's not average, man.
No.
You're so corrupt.
You
spend your whole life in politics making a couple $100,000 a year, and now you have $100 million. It's crazy.
I was even thinking about, he's kind of like almost George W. Bush, right? But then even George W., even though he failed, I believe he had some of his own businesses. Or he was creating jobs even.
Yeah, he tried to run the oil business.
Yeah,
he ran the Texas Rangers, remember?
Yeah, so I do remember. He threw out the first pitch at this last World Series. Pretty incredible stuff. And speaking of World Series, and I could probably sneak this in, we'll do the Trump one in the next episode. Huge news in the MLB market. Mike, you know me, massive fan of the baseball. I believe it's one of the last actual genuine games out there. Shohei Ohtani
That's crazy.
Signed a
fucking crazy
massive contract. I just want to play a quickie for you guys to hear it. It is absolutely outrageous.
Two-time American League MVP Shohei Ohtani has landed the richest free agent contract in baseball history, and the numbers are eye-popping. The two-way superstar agreed to a 10-year, $700 million deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Ohtani staying in Southern California after starring as both a pitcher and slugger for the Los Angeles Angels for the past 6 seasons. He'll only be a hitter next season, though, after undergoing surgery on his throwing elbow.
All right, so I'm going to preempt anything. I haven't really read much into it. However, as a baseball fanatic, and I work with some people who are also into the game a bit, we were really discussing how, he was wagering between several locations. One of them apparently was Toronto, which I was going to quit watching baseball if the greatest generational player in the last 100 years played for a fucking Canadian team.
You should have gone Canadian, dude. 700 million American? It's got to be like $1 billion Canadian.
No, apparently they have worse tax situations over there. From what I was reading, there are all these tax implications. Right. So I thought this dude was going to sign with Miami or some team in a place where they don't tax anything out of your paycheck. He was supposed to get $500 million. That was the going rate. The reason I believe they did $700 million is because taxes. I think they had to make up for how much fucking money he's going to lose living in California and having all that money siphoned out of his paycheck.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So
$700 million, though, dude. How worthless is the U.S. dollar?
I know.
We're handing out $700 million to play baseball.
Well, he's going to be an active billionaire player probably before his tenure is complete. LeBron James, a current billionaire player, if I'm not mistaken, and he keeps talking very openly about purchasing the future Las Vegas basketball team that the NBA expects to expand to. They're going to, I think, add more teams to the league, and LeBron intends to be the owner, the primary owner of the next expansion team in Vegas.
Yeah, if I know LeBron, he'll only own it for 6 years, then sell it and move to another one.
Move to LA.
Move to one with a winning team.
Can you imagine the stadium's designed totally around LeBron sitting on a giant golden throne?
I was just going to say, his suite is going to be 6 inches above all the other suites. Fucking asshole. Just like his stupid chair. For those that don't know, he sits on a chair 6 inches taller than the other players' chairs when he goes to the bench. He's a real asshole.
He's King James, and he sits in his own throne above the rest of the, serfs that are on his team.
You can't be like, oh, well, he's 6'7". There's a guy next to him that's like 7'11", and he's in the regular size chair. So.
LeBron he's a massive dude, though, to be playing basketball. He probably could have had quite the career in football, but it would have only been 10 years, and at this point his brain would be jello, and he'd be one of those morons on the morning talk shows that lead up into NFL Sunday, right? They talk.
Oh, by now he'd be a Trump voter. He'd be wearing a MAGA hat.
Oh, man. Well, with that, we have hit that point in time, folks. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, can't be.
Yes, sir. This is the fastest hour in the universe. We still got so much more to get after, and we are doing a bit of an extra one today. As
700 million, dude. That is that's like mega ball winnings.
It's an outrageous amount, but again, I believe it's to make up for, no joke, the amount of taxation that will be placed onto it.
I 500 million? That's insane.
This was known last offseason, heading into the season. Everybody couldn't believe that they wouldn't just trade Ohtani, or there was all this speculation, but the one thing that people weren't speculating was the amount that this dude was going to be paid. It was well known. Ohtani was going to be the first $500 million player.
What happens if you get hit by a bus? Do they pay out to your family the rest of the contract?
Well, it's crazy you say that. He went into this offseason injured, and he had to have surgery, so he can't even pitch next year.
Shut the fuck up! $700 million for an injured guy? How shitty are all the other players in the MLB?
That's what I'm saying, man.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. Brace yourselves. We're heading down the road for another World Series where no black players. All right? So,
it's going to be all Asians pretty soon.
Asians.
You have to call it the Harvard League.
It's going to be Asians and Dominicans playing each other, man. Which I'm not opposed. They're very talented fellas, right?
Well, Dominicans, the food will be better at the stadium.
Oh, yeah. Well, the party will be happening in the stands. There's no doubt about it.
Big ass.